Alright, so what is up guys? In the previous session we learned about what are remote events as well as how to fire from the client side or the server side and how to receive the fired remote event from the client side or the server side using fire clients. Fire all clients, fire clients, on server event, on client event and whatsoever. So in this session we're going to be understanding something called as Tween service, and here I've written three questions. What are Tween service? How do we use Tween service? And when do we use Tween service? So what are Tween service? Tween service is a service where you can use it to increment the value slowly, like let's say you want some kind of an animation, or tweening from like fade in fade out, something like keeps changing every single frame slowly, and it's not like instantly. That's why we use Tween service. So I'll be creating a very small script about Tween service. In order to get the Tween service, we'll be using a variable called as Tween service and get service Tween service. What I'll be doing here is that I'll be changing the color of this cube or this part every few seconds, and it won't be an instant color change. It'll be a slow from red to, let's say, if I were to do red to black, it'll be red, dark red, and then darker red, and then more darker red, and then black, something like that. So in order to do something like that, I'll be using a while loop, while true to. Alright, so in this script I've written two variables called as TweenService and new TweenInfo. I've also written I equals to 0. So in the TweenService I've written game get service TweenService, and in order to create a TweenService we need three arguments, and the first argument will be workspace.base, the part or the instance that you want to change using the TweenService. So here I've written workspace.base, and base is a part here I've created in the workspace. And this new TweenInfo is basically the second argument, and this second argument, it consists of the time that you want the Tween service to run for, as well as the easing style, easing direction. And this easing style is basically like how you want the Tween service to move, that is linear, sine, quad, exponential, cubic, and whatsoever. So here I've written sine. Easing direction, it can be in and out, or in, out, or whatsoever. So here I've written in, and if you read comma, here you can see in this bar here, if I were to scroll this bar, it says repeat count number, reverses, delay time number, and etc. So if you were to use all those, you can just click comma, and then you can put the repeat count as 3 or whatsoever. But since I don't need it, I won't be using it. And in the second argument of Tween service, we'll be putting new TweenInfo. By the way, we'll be just typing here Tween service create workspace.base new TweenInfo, and then the property that you want to change gradually, or like tween. So I'll be using the color property of the workspace.base and color3.rgb from RGB man to random 0, 2, 25, 5, 5, whatever. So as you know, in the previous session, I've written this same line of code, and what it does is I chooses a random color from 0, 20 to 55, and it can be like 25, 30, 200, and whatsoever. So it chooses the random color, and what it does is that it slowly changes the initial color. So the initial color is, let's say, 163. Let me just put it at 0, 0, and that is black. So let's say the initial color is 0, 0. So what it does is that it slowly increases this color to whatever has been randomized. So the randomized can be 16, 16, 16. So what it does is that it moves from 0, 0, to 16, 16, 16 within 3 seconds, and the using style will be sine and in. So what it does is that it increases 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, till 16, 16, 16. In order to play this Tween service, I'll be just putting colon and play followed by two brackets, the created Tween service. So the created Tween service is a variable which consists of Tween service create and whatever are written here. Also keep in mind that I've used flower brackets here for the third argument, which is the property that you want to change. So don't get confused. use flower brackets for the last argument of TweenService. Here I've written if I equals to 3, then create a TweenService stop. Just after this, I've written I plus equals to 1. So what it means is that this TweenService will run 3 times and then it will stop. And I've written task.wait 3. So the reason why I've written task.wait 3 in spite of having the 3 here is because this 3, it's applicable only for the TweenService. So it doesn't mean that the while loop will wait for the TweenService to end. It will just run this thing and it will keep moving on. That's why I've written task.wait 3. If I don't write this task.wait 3, there's a possibility that when this TweenService is running, it will just skip everything else in spite of this running, and then it will come back again and create and run it once again. So there's a possibility for 2 TweenService to run if you don't write task.wait 3, and this 3 is applicable only for the TweenService. So kindly keep in mind about that. If I have to run this, you can see here that the color of the cube is changing to cyan, pink, and in the properties table we can see it changes. So purple and whatsoever. Okay, stop is not a valid member of Tween. Let me just fix this. Alright, so my apologies. What we have to do is we have to use cancel, and what cancel does is that it cancels the created TweenService. Now, oh yeah, I forgot to write the break keyword. Let me write the break keyword. Yeah, so the break is right here. And if I want to run this, and let's say we wait for 3 tweens to happen. So first is the green, and then purple, indigo, and yeah, it stops right there because we have written cancel. So what cancel does is that it halts playback and resets the tween variables. If you then call play, the properties of the tween resume interpolating towards the destination but take the full length of the animation to do so. So what it's trying to say is that it finishes the entire TweenService and then it cancels out, like it stops the whole thing. So there's nothing called as stop, that is colon and stop bracket. There's nothing like that. Instead of that, we can use cancel. So that was basically it about TweenService. We can even use TweenService to change the properties of the position of an instance, or we can use it to change the reflectance, transparency, size, whatsoever. We can even use it to change the velocity of the instance. Alright, so summarizing what we have learned today, what is TweenService? TweenService is basically a service which is used to increment the value of a property by 1 or slowly, gradually within a given amount of time. And the given amount of time is mentioned in the TweenInfo.new. So here I've written 3. How do we use it? We use it using getService, TweenService, and there are 3 arguments of the TweenService. The first one is the instance that you want to change, and the second one is TweenInfo. TweenInfo consists of multiple arguments. You don't have to necessarily use all of them, but you need this one specifically, which is it tells how long the tween has to run for. Third argument is which is compulsory, and again this is the property that you want to change or tween. In order to play the TweenService or the create a tween, we can use play, and in order to stop it, we can use cancel. And that was basically it. If you guys have any doubts, queries, questions, or whatsoever, kindly comment down. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye.